Raw Dogging Motherhood just means to me that I'm just like taking day by day and I'm not following any rhythm or any schedules or anything like that. I'm just doing whatever. I'm not going to be putting my baby in daycare. I'm breastfeeding on whenever. There's no like, I'm breastfeeding him when he's hungry. He's napping when he's tired. You know, like there's no playbook. I'm just kind of going by the seat of my pants. Who decided that the man's ownership over the woman's body and not her ownership to the child is more important? Like, who decided that? Like, no, you can't have the baby sleep with me because I need your body more than the baby who literally needs your body for nutrients, for everything, for comfort.
Yeah.
Like, who decided that that's more important? That bothers me so much. This is Skin Talks, the podcast where we go deeper than skin, products, and trends and explore the conversations that actually matter in health, beauty, wellness, and confidence.
We're a mother-daughter duo and the founders of Boutique Skin Envie. After years inside the industry, we've learned that health is never just about what you use. It's about everything you digest, how you think, how you live, what you eat, how you move, what you put on your skin, and how you feel in your own body.
If you're looking for insight, honesty, and a fresh perspective on the future of health, beauty, and wellness, you're in the right place.
Let's get into it.
Skin Talks podcast by Boutique Skin Envie, hosted by Beate and Natascha.
A few months ago, Natascha and I sat down and she explained Maximilian's birth story. He was about 2 months old then, and now he's about 6 months old. And Natascha's been doing the whole thing her own way. No script, no expert in her ear. She calls it Raw Dogging Motherhood. And honestly, I'm obsessed with it. Because here's the thing. The second you have a baby, the whole world has an opinion. Your feed is filled up with people telling you what your baby should be doing at every single week, what you should be buying, how you should be feeding, sleeping, soothing, training. It's a lot. And somewhere in all of that, the actual mom and the actual baby get lost. So today is about what it really looks like to tune out the noise and trust yourself. We're also going to get into something Natascha said that stuck with me, which is that our culture doesn't really support family at all. But one thing before we start, this is Natascha's experience and not a rule book. Take what helps, leave the rest, and do what feels right for you and your family. And this is the whole point of this episode.
Today is a fun episode because we're going to be talking about motherhood, my experience with it, and just, I think, some controversial topics, which I'm excited for.
Yeah, I know. You've been looking forward to recording this episode because when we did the first one, which was about 4 months ago, it was your birth story and why you decided to do a natural childbirth. And now, fast forward 4 more months, and you have a 6-month-old Maximilian.
I don't even know how I got here.
Yeah, so we're like at the 6 months check-in, which life goes so fast. It's where you see it when you have children. Ask me, I have a almost 32-year-old, and I can't even like describe how fast time passes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But you had said a couple of times that you felt that you had some very strong views on things and that you, as you became a mother with all of the social pressures and stuff like that, you wanted to share some of your experience. But before we get into all the nitty gritty and kind of like Natascha's view on stuff, let's catch up.
Yeah.
You have Maximilian. He's 6 months old, beautiful baby boy. Honestly, the joy of my life and the love of my life. Who is Maximilian at 6 months and who are you as his mom right now?
So Maximilian, 6 months, has just started eating solids. He's definitely a lot
this
more. Yeah, this past week. He's definitely smilier, goofier. Like I guess his character's coming in a little bit, but he's
very present. Like he's very aware. He's a very present, aware baby. I've never seen something like that before, actually. He's like, it's weird.
Yeah. He's very aware. He's like just perfect. He's a perfect little specimen.
Obviously.
I'm obsessed with him. But yeah, no, I mean, I guess he's like any other baby at 6 months.
Yeah.
I have no experience. Discovering things. It's a very interesting experience to witness, like your heart on the exterior, like discovering life for the first time. So like when I go outside and he's like looking around, it's just so sweet to see him like taking in all the trees. And like, if he sees like the wind blowing, he like looks at it. Like I find there's so much beauty in that. And that's
there is
really special. And even like the funniest thing is just, I have 2 cats at home. and just the cats walking by him, how like infatuated he is with these cats now that he can really like see them and understand like that they're moving and all this stuff. He like stares at them, he pets them. So just seeing things like that, him discovering life is really, it's a beautiful thing.
It is, absolutely. How about you?
I mean, I feel like I don't know, it changes every week. You know, like I don't even, like who am I? I don't have no idea.
Who are you now 6 months
I think I like know
big,
what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But
it took you a minute to get there.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
like
because
anything.
of the reasons why we're going to have this conversation today. It took you a while to kind of fall into your groove, right?
Yeah, and I feel like I'm a lot more level-headed when it comes to like exterior things in my life. I feel like I'm able to like finally like have my 2 feet on the ground, and hormonally speaking, like I'm a lot more level-headed. I don't know if my boyfriend would agree with that, but I think that I'm a lot more level-headed, and things don't disturb me as much as what they did before, I think, because of my hormones and everything. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I got a good handle on things, but I mean, everything changes. Like he's going through this current stage. Next week is going to be different. So like I'm adjusting all the time to all the changes that are happening, but I've really embraced motherhood. I love it. And I know people listening are like, well, she's a 6-month-old. Like I honestly found that like the last 6 months has been pretty easy.
Yeah.
Like I know that it's going to get harder. I had a really beautiful newborn stage. Like I know there's some women out there that struggle with it, but like I truly enjoyed the newborn stage. Like I miss it so much. And I've just loved the first 6 months. Like I can't wait to see what's going to come. Might be insanely hectic, but I'm looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm. And now you're like really also more back at work and stuff too. Like in the beginning, the first month, you really took time to yourself.
I would say the first 2 months, I really took time for myself.
Yeah. And now like on your own, you've kind of come back to the office more frequently.
Yeah.
He's more
involved.
integrated into your life. You're like finding ways to manage a career and at the same time motherhood.
Yeah, it's very hard though.
It's hard, yeah.
It's like, I'm not going to sugarcoat that. I find like I bring the baby to work because obviously he's exclusively breastfed. So there's just no bottles, anything like that. So he's always on me, near me. Having your brain in like 2 different areas is very difficult, I find.
Yeah. And you also like had a lot of sleep in the beginning. Like you had a good sleep schedule in the shouldn't say sleep schedule,
like
but
slept a lot.
He slept a lot, but now he's starting to wake up at 5:36 in the morning now. So things are always constantly moving and changing. Yeah. And especially when you're back at work more often, it's like, you have to really learn how to time manage properly. I guess things can get thrown off pretty quickly when things aren't exactly as you
your whole day gets derailed. Yeah.
Well, the important thing is to know that it's a momentary derail, right? Yeah.
I don't hold on to things very long.
Yeah.
You're
good.
Like,
you've been always good at those types of things. I hang on, you let go. Like
you have to, because then otherwise it's just gonna like bring you throughout the entire day, this one feeling, and you're just like ruining your whole day based off of like one bad thing that happened. You just got to like move on.
Yeah. No, don't dwell on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to get into this interesting way that you described yourself in motherhood, which I did a little bit of research this morning on, and I found out it has multiple meanings. But I'm just going to say it like it is. You just once said to me in my office, you're like, I'm just raw dogging it.
I'm raw dogging motherhood.
I'm raw dogging motherhood. Which I think is such an interesting way to look at it.
I won't take credit for the term. I've heard other women say it on Instagram.
Oh, you have? Eh?
Yeah.
Okay. It's the first time I've heard it in relation to motherhood, because if you like ChatGPT it or Google it, it's got multiple
does it have
meanings.
The best meaning ever?
No, but we're going to just say it like it is, because that's what we do on Skin Talks. So you call it raw dogging motherhood. What do you mean by that? And how did you end up here?
I basically, raw dogging motherhood just means to me that I'm just like taking day by day, and I'm not like following any rhythm or any schedules or anything like that. I'm just doing whatever. I'm not going to be putting my baby in daycare. I'm breastfeeding on whenever. There's no like, I'm breastfeeding him when he's hungry. He's napping when he's tired. Like there's no
playbook.
Yeah, there's no playbook. I'm just kind of going by the seat of my pants and hoping for the best.
So like leading into parenthood, you were saying oftentimes like your Instagram feed or your, TikTok was filled with like a lot of information around you should do this, and this is you measure this, measure that, your child should be, So I want to know, what did you stop doing that you were told you had to do?
I stopped having my baby sleep in a bassinet, and now he co-sleeps with me. Like, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
That I would say that's the biggest thing that like everybody was like, okay, like I have a bassinet, I have a crib, I have all the things, because like that's just what I knew before I had the baby. I had all these thoughts and I was like, the baby's not going to co-sleep with me because it could be deemed unsafe. I don't know if I'm ready to, like, I don't know if, I didn't understand that, like, if a baby makes a sound next to you, you're up in a second. Like, it's just crazy.
It
so
is.
like, I didn't understand all of that. And then basically what happened after, I think it was after 2.5 weeks of him sleeping in the bassinet, like one night at midnight, like after just being so exhausted, my adrenaline from like the hormones after birth just kind of disappeared. And I started to feel really tired. And then I'm like, you know what, screw this. I'm just going to have him sleep in the bed with me from like midnight till whatever. And I had the best sleep of my life. And I say that very lightly around other mothers, but I slept so well with him next to me. I made sure that like there was no pillow, there's no blankets, like all that stuff. Like obviously I'm not doing this
You have a
unsafe.
setup.
Yeah, there's a proper setup. So I tried it and it was amazing. And I remember texting my best friends and I'm like, I am never going back to him sleeping in a bassinet again. And from that day, he co-slept with me ever since. And it's like the best thing in the world.
Yeah. And when you talk to people within your social circles, is there an opinion around that? Or have you discovered more parents are doing it?
I mean, honestly, I find that like when you go on Instagram and people talk, I really educated myself around co-sleeping. Like there is safe ways you can co-sleep. Like you cannot have a blanket. Like you have to be really, obviously very careful when you're sleeping with a baby. Like don't be silly about it. And I ended up like finding these people on Instagram, like called a co-sleepy or something like that. There's like Happy Co-Sleep. There's these accounts that teach you how to safe sleep. So I looked into them. I started becoming more knowledgeable. I'm like, okay, this is what I have to do. I have to get this sheet. I have to do this because, like all this, whatever he can throw up in the middle of the night can breed bacteria in your mattress. So I got like a special sheet that I sleep on, like all this stuff. I educated myself around it. Then I started speaking about it more. And honestly, I feel like it's actually becoming a little bit more normal.
It's normalized. It's been normalized. I
think
find
that
I hear about it more.
The time that I'm having a baby, it's a lot different than it is 10 years ago. 10 years ago was like heavy on not co-sleeping, heavy on sleep training. And I think that more and more there's like moms are opening their eyes to what else is there, especially with Instagram. I think that's the nice thing about Instagram is like once you find your group of moms that you like to follow, like you're in a good place. So like,
and the algorithm shifts then from,
my algorithm has shifted a lot, but I feel like, there's always this silent judgment of like, aren't you nervous that you're going to like turn on him or roll over him? Or don't you think that he's going to have such a hard time moving to a crib eventually? Like always like people just like making comments, not necessarily to like their intention is not bad, but they're obviously judging, which is fine. And I'm just like, you know what? Like the baby's going to sleep with me forever, actually. Like, he's never going to a crib ever. His future wife can sleep train him because it won't be me. But I just think that like, I truly believe that babies are dependent on their parents, specifically their mother, for a certain reason. Eventually, as they grow up and discover the world and they get older, they're going to based off the dependence and the safety that they have, they're going to become more and more independent as they grow up.
When they're in an environment, when they feel safe.
When they feel safe, babies, when they feel safe, and kids, when they feel safe, they're eventually going to grow up into an environment where they're going to be happy to explore. They know that mom and dad's got their back. Like, I just believe that that's the natural way it happens. Like in an unsafe environment, me personally, where I feel anxious or I feel uncomfortable, I'm not going to all of a sudden want to go out and go talk to somebody new if I'm feeling unsafe. I mean, if that's how I feel, I can only imagine how a baby is, right?
Yeah, they're so dependent.
They're so dependent on you.
And they're learning so much so quickly.
Yeah, there's so much happening. And I mean, like, you grow this child inside of your body and it knows one thing. And then even for the first 6 weeks, it doesn't even like know that outside of your womb. It doesn't even know that it's separate from you for such a period of time. So to like expect the baby to sleep full nights, expect the baby to like sleep and for me, it's just like that school of thought is like, don't even come near me with that. Like I do not believe in that at all. But like to each, like also, I want to say this in this episode is like, I do not shame or judge any mothers, however you're doing it. Whoever you decide to raise your children is perfect. Like I have no judgment there, but like, I just don't accept that into my family, you know? And I think that
but that extends beyond just the co-sleeping. It extends to a lot of different things that you've become very, very, I think, firm in your opinion around things, because there's so much that our society pushes towards new moms, new families, even new dads, I'm sure in a lot of ways, of what is right and what is wrong. But that's like history repeating itself, right? When you look at, like when I look at when I was a mom, or when my mom was a mom, there was a ton of like, you shouldn't breastfeed.
Yeah.
You know, her thing was don't breastfeed, go to formula, because that was when formula came onto the market and it was like marketing, right? When I was a new mom, there was, you know, breastfeeding. It was like, if you didn't breastfeed, you weren't a good mom.
Yeah.
Exclamation
there
point.
There still is that, I think.
There is that. And, you know, there's just, it's always these pressures that are, you know, we're supposed to abide by. And I think that, as, you know, with everything in life, we know so much more today than they knew 100 years ago. So it's normal that an evolution takes place in everything, and including parenthood. So if, you know, there was a lot of things around co-sleeping that had to do with the couple, right? So if you co-sleep with your baby, you know, you take away the intimacy or the involvement of the father.
Yeah.
Which is,
like,
I know you eye roll,
like,
but that was what people said. Like, what about the dad? You're going to have any intimate moments with the dad because you're like, co-sleeping.
And not even just like, have you experienced having sex on a couch or like in the kitchen? Like expand your horizon. That's one of my opinions. Like you own a couch, like there's other ways that you can be intimate with your partner. It's not just the bedroom. Like that could be very boring in my opinion. Secondly, like who decided that the man's ownership over the woman's body and not her ownership to the child is more important? Like, who decided that? Like, no, you can't have the baby sleep with me because I need your body more than the baby who literally needs your body for nutrients, for everything, for comfort.
Yeah.
Like, who decided that that's more important? That bothers me so much.
I know.
Like, really? Like, the mother is mothering a child, a newborn, and the father's like, no, she belongs to me. She needs to sleep in the bed alone.
Yeah.
For me, I'm like, it's insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, there's like
but that's always those things
there
that happen. That's the pressures that happen in our society that make us feel like we need to do this, or we need to, if you don't do this, this is going to happen. Yeah. It's all these things that are a little bit. Yeah. So let's talk. Yeah. No. Okay. So let's talk about the noise. So Instagram, TikTok, and the opinion overload. Every stage comes with 100 people in your feed telling you what to do. What has this done to you as a new mom? Like when you see that stuff?
I mean, I think I suffered a lot from like questioning what I was doing in the beginning, because I saw, like, I remember this one random content creator, like on my For You page, whatever, was saying like, my baby's 8 weeks sleeping 8 hours. And I'm like, oh my God, my baby's 12 weeks sleeping an hour. Like, am I doing something wrong? And I'm like, hold on a second. Like, do I really expect my child to be sleeping? I don't even sleep 8 hours. Like, most people in this world don't even sleep a straight 8 hours. So like, how are we, like, I was like, how am I expecting my 6-week-old or 12-week-old to sleep full nights when I can't even do it? So then I'm like, I need to get off like social media. And then somehow I just sort of like rearranged my algorithm. And now I have all these like crunchy granola moms that I'm following that I see on my For You page. It's all like much more holistic, my vibe kind of moms, which I find has helped me a lot. I really had to change my algorithm because it was taking me away from what my gut was telling me. And it made me confuse and question myself. And I'm like, I shouldn't be questioning myself because one person's doing it this way, you know, like that their child is sleeping 8 hours. Like, that's amazing for your child, but that's not my child. So like, why am I questioning?
Why are you comparing yourself?
Yeah. Why am I comparing and all this stuff? So I really my biggest thing is like, you have to separate yourself from like what everybody else is doing. And if you're doing something that feels right, then stick with that. And if you're doing something that for the slightest does not feel comfortable with you, you know that it's not good. Like, why are you not feeling comfortable doing this?
So that's the expression of raw dogging.
Yeah.
Is really following your intuition, following your
100%.
instinct, following your gut.
Exactly.
Does this feel right or does this feel wrong?
And for every mom, it's different. For every, like my future kids, it might be completely different. Like I might have a baby who sleeps full nights. might have a baby who sleeps worse than Maximilian. Like I'm going to just go with my gut in every stage of my life. And I'm just going to do what's right for my family. I mean, obviously all the decisions I make and everything that I do is also with my boyfriend. I'm not just like taking the whole thing and being like, this is what's happening. Like discussions are being also held with my partner because I value his opinion and everything as well.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to ask you, Natascha, can you share one of the most ridiculous pieces of advice the internet or somebody has ever tried to kind of tell you?
It would probably be the my baby 6 weeks sleeping 6 hours, 7 weeks sleeping 7 hours, 8 weeks sleeping 8 hours. Like, sorry, what? Like,
and then it just sets you up for failure, that kind of stuff
like
too.
It just sets like that's just not.
I don't remember you ever
some
sleeping
babies like that sleep full nights as soon as they're newborns, and that's a blessing. But there's some babies who don't, and like setting like my baby should be doing this like no, like it's just you gotta stop listening to other people. And I get it, like it's an education component too, right? You realize you're listening to this and you're like, that doesn't sit right with me. So like, that's something that you already know that you don't want to do. Whereas somebody's like, oh, that's interesting. Let me try that. Mm-hmm. You know, like
more like sharing personal stories rather. And that seems to be what your algorithm is about now.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's all these like programs of like sleep trainers and like all these like people who are like, I'm sleep consultants, like telling you how you need to put your baby to bed and how this. And it's like, you're literally giving money to an individual who's telling you to do something that doesn't sit right with you. Like, what does that even mean?
We have to think about that.
You have to think about that. Like, these are people
start...
making money off of you and coming up with these insane, rigid sleep schedules that just don't work for every baby. Like, you got to look at the big picture here. Like, what are they doing? They're just trying to sell you information. They're just selling. And you're just putting your money in places. Like, just try to hone in and like do meditation and figure out what's right for you. Like, just figure it out. Like,
go inside. Let's talk about at-home skincare tools because most of them are either too weak to matter or too harsh to be safe. If you want professional level results at home, you need something clinically tested and designed by skin experts. The Environ Cosmetic Roll CIT is a medical grade derma roller that creates tiny microchannels in the skin so your serums can penetrate up to 80% deeper. It enhances results, it boosts collagen, and when used correctly, it's incredibly safe and effective. If you're going to invest in at-home skin technology, make it something proven. Use Skin Talks 15 at Envie, spelled BSKINENVIE.ca for 15% off your first order. So you had said to me once that it started with the app that you had on your telephone when you were pregnant, like your pregnancy app that was telling you where the baby was at every single day and week, the size of the baby, things, symptoms that you could be experiencing when the Braxton Hicks come in and all that kind of stuff.
I use My Bump, which is like you can
but you
follow
said there
your
was
pregnancy.
some advertising and stuff on there at the time that started the whole like influence thing that you didn't like.
Yeah.
What was that about?
It was actually after Maxie was born. So basically like I used My Bump, which is an app. I used multiple apps. So like, cause I was so obsessed with the size. I was like, what's happening? I had no idea what was happening inside my belly. Like
I felt the same way.
I couldn't make the correlation the first time I'm having a baby. Like, I don't understand that I'm actually growing a human. Best apps ever. I loved it. But then once Maxie was born, they started, obviously I wasn't following it anymore, but I was still getting emails of them. And one of the emails came through and it was like, how to put your baby to bed. Make sure that the baby doesn't get used to you rocking him or her to bed. Or make sure that the baby like doesn't rely on you to fall asleep, right? It's like do not have the baby rely on you to fall asleep. And then as you scroll down, there's an ad for like the snooze bassinet, which is basically a bassinet that rocks the baby to sleep. Yeah. So I like saw this and I was like, you're telling me that my baby cannot rely on me to fall asleep, which is because I need to buy something. In my head already is so insane. Like, what the hell? And then second, you're selling me something that's going to put my baby to sleep. So I was like, why does this make me so mad? I'm like, it's the industry trying to separate moms and dads from their children.
To sell them something.
To sell them something. So like, it's all this consumerism. It's like your baby can't rely on you just to rock to sleep, but no problem. Put a baby in a bassinet and it's gonna rock the baby to sleep, so that you completely remove the mother and the father from the situation. Like, why are we constantly trying to separate the parents from the children at such a young age? For me, it's like, it just makes no sense. I got me so upset, and I was like, this is just insane. I like unsubscribed. I'm like, I'm never using this app again. Like, I just got so annoyed. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it makes sense.
You know, like, who cares if the baby is going to rely on you to fall asleep for 1 year of your entire life? Like, what did you expect?
Yeah.
What did you, like, you expect the baby to come out and just put it down over there? It's going to fall asleep by himself. Like, he doesn't even know what's going on in the world. He's hungry. He's scared. Like, he's used to being surrounded by fluids and your heartbeat and all this sound. And now you're putting it in this like cold crib by itself. Like, of course it's going to cry. What do you expect?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, that leads me into the next part of this episode, which is really, you had said something to me recently, you know, because we have a lot of conversations in the office around stuff. And we were at lunch recently with one of our suppliers, and you said, we were talking about, you know, in Canada, we have up to 1 year of maternity leave. And in the US, in many cases, it's 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And you had said our culture just doesn't support families.
No.
So when you take those kinds of advertisements and then you bring it into the context of the way our society is set up around bringing children into the world. And I wanted to add one more thing about this, and I don't want to forget it, is I had a conversation with a friend. We were talking about, you know, how our society, I mean, Canada's a lot better than the United States, I think, when it comes to parenting. Because I mean, 6 weeks having a newborn baby, or 8 weeks having a newborn baby and having to put it into a daycare is quite honestly like frightening for me.
Yeah.
But he was saying to me that in Sweden, there's a maternal leave and there's a paternal leave that's enforced by the government. I think it's Sweden. I have to do a little bit more research on it. Like the mother gets, let's say,
advanced.
so many months, and then the father gets so many months. So the father comes in as a second part, but it is forced by the government. Like, it's not, companies have to abide by this. So the mother plays a role in the beginning, and then the father steps in, and it's equal.
Yeah.
Because I find, you know, it's everything a lot of the times in our society
Falls on
relies on the mom, right?
Yeah.
And that, you know, even if the mom is making more money in the family, or like what, you know, in parenthesis is the breadwinner, the father still doesn't have the same level of responsibility over the children, but even when the children get older. So I want to talk about that. Our culture doesn't support families. You said it. And what do you mean by it?
I mean, like, exactly what you said. You're bringing a baby into this world, and then you have to put it into daycare. Like, you have to go back to work. So like, what are you, like, first of all, putting a baby at 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever it is, into a daycare where its number one thing is it needs connection with the mother. Like, it's not fair. Like, it's just not, like,
especially to the baby, because it's like, that's when abandonment issues start.
Like,
we don't realize it, but it's like,
force the moms to go back to work. Like, I have it, like, I'm very grateful for my situation. I know that there's some women out there that do not have like my privileges and my choices, that I have my own, like, you know, like, I work with you, I have my own company, like, I'm able to make more choices. And I understand that some women don't. And like, my heart goes out to them because it's so hard. But like, and then you put them in daycare, and it's like, I don't know, in Quebec, how much is it a day? Like $34 a day or something? Like,
I don't even know what it is anymore, but
I don't
it's
even
not a
know.
lot.
I could be saying a number, but like, it's so expensive to put your baby in daycare. So you have to go back to work to afford a life to put your baby in daycare. And it's just like, just this cycle. And I'm like, there's just no support for moms at all. You know, like, even if a mom goes out and breastfeeds in public, like, there's people that are going to look at her funny. Like, it's like, there's no support from any angle from the world when it comes to moms in our society, I believe. Like, I truly don't think that there is. And it's annoying. Like, it's just hard to see, you know?
Yeah. And our system is not set up for newborns the same way either. I mean, first of all, in Quebec, it takes a really long time to get a baby, and you have to actually register your baby for daycare when you're pregnant.
No, they changed it now.
Oh, did they?
Changed it now. Now you can't register your baby when you're pregnant. You can only do it once the baby's born, because there was like, some women didn't do it. Their baby was born, but somebody who was pregnant got the spot before the baby, even though the baby is older.
I got it.
So they've actually changed it. But yes, getting a spot in daycare is so hard. It's just like they're overfilled, they're over capacity. There's some daycares that are just like.
And how many kids are per caregiver too? That's the thing, right? Like, so if you
many,
have
I'm
a very
assuming.
young baby at 1 year old or 6 months old in daycare, like how many people are taking care of that many children? So
And it's hard. Like there's just so many who do not have a choice. Like they have to do it in order to provide for their family. And it's just like,
their position, the choices that they made. There's some women that are in like high level executive positions that can't.
Yeah.
And therefore the father will step in, or you know what I mean? But the thing is that it shouldn't always just fall on the mom.
No.
It should be on the mom if you're choosing to breastfeed, it falls on the mother because you're breastfeeding. And so that's the primary source of nutrition, but it has to be shared.
Yeah.
I think.
I completely agree. And I just think that there needs to be a better way of supporting moms in this like new era that they're going into. Mm-hmm. It's the craziest experience you're ever going to have. And like, how is there not support?
Yeah. And then it just creates a lot of, I would imagine, a lot of anxiety and frustration for families, and therefore the child is born into that energy, right?
Yeah. And what do you think? Like postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, like all these things, you know, like are just, it could be even heightened because of the exterior stress that they're feeling from having to go back to work. Like it's just it's hard, or whatever the situation is. It's very difficult.
It's not easy for sure. I know when you were born, I was living in Germany, and at that time I was in the hospital for a full 7 days. So there was nothing wrong with me. I had a perfectly natural childbirth and there was nothing wrong, but they wanted to support mothers in the first week.
Yeah.
And then I went home, right? And I remember being so grateful for that, because in those days, I mean, it's almost 32 years ago, they didn't have the same amount of information accessible to people. So there was the book, What to Expect When You're Expecting, which is probably on the version, or what do you call that, like 25 now, because it's been redone so many times.
It too.
But I read that from top to bottom, but there was still a lot of information or things that happened when you were born that I didn't read about, that wasn't available, and that my grandmother or my mother never told me about. So it's, and I just remember it being like life-changing experience. And then you bring this baby home and you look at it and it's like, okay, now what? It's a very weird feeling because it's so foreign and new at the same time that, you don't know what to do. So I would imagine in today's day and age, even anything in today's day and age, there's pressures on people to be or not be a certain way all the time. It's like, there's a lot of judgment around everything.
Yeah. And I think the pressures are specifically hard because like you're in such a vulnerable state. You're just like insecure about so many things, and you're just not really thinking straight either because of like the hormones, like you're exhausted, hormones, like all this stuff is happening to you, and you're extremely vulnerable. And I remember being like super insecure, like always doubting myself. And like somebody said one thing, I would think about that one thing for like days on end. Like, so of course, when you have the pressures, like it makes it even harder. And yeah, it's like crazy.
It's like on loudspeaker in your head all day long.
You just have to advocate. Like my biggest thing is just advocate for yourself, and what you think is right for your baby is the best thing that you can do. Like just
follow your intuition.
And set your boundaries and advocate for yourself. And like, you just got to be.
And positive influences.
Yeah.
So I want to get into like the topic basically of doing things your way. And the choices that you made, not following necessarily the rules. So let's talk about a couple different things. I've written them down here. Sleep pressure. Let's talk about sleep pressure. Yeah. How are you managing your sleep schedule, so to speak, even though I don't like to call it a sleep schedule? Like, how have you adapted that?
I mean, I've kind of naturally got Maximilian on a little bit, let's say, of a schedule. Like he goes to bed. My biggest thing is that he goes to bed always at the same time. Like I put him down around 7, he falls asleep around 7:30, and that allows me to have dinner and at night, and it allows me to have dinner and an evening with my partner. So like there's still that connection, because I think that that's important. And then because he goes to bed at that time, he usually wakes up around 6. And then like just naturally after 2 hours or an hour, even in the morning, an hour and a half, you can see he starts to get tired. So I'm like, okay, he's starting to get tired. Let's put him down for a nap. And then he naps for however long, like as of the past 4 days.
And that kind of sets your morning, eh?
Yeah, it's been, as of the past 4 days, he's napping between an hour and a half, which I'm like, wow. Before that, it was
But it's on
15
his
minutes.
schedule. It's you are following his rhythm.
Yes, exactly. So as soon as he was tired, I'm like, okay, it's time for him to nap. So I put him down. Now he's napping for an hour and a half. Before it was like 15, 20 minutes. So like that was crazy. I'm like, oh my God, just got out of the shower. Now it's so much better. Like things are happening there. That could probably change tomorrow. And then he's up again. Then we go to work or we hang out downstairs. We go for a walk. Like we do whatever the day tells us to do. And then I can see him again a little bit, start to get sleepy. And I'm like, okay, it's time for him for a nap. Like as soon as his eyes start to get a little bit red, he starts to get a little bit like
crying, a little bit more cranky.
It's just whining for no apparent reason. Usually I can tell like if he's on the floor playing and he only wants me to hold him. I try to put him down again, he starts to cry. I'm like, okay, it's nap time.
So you have followed the cues, his cues, more or less.
Exactly.
And in following the cues, you set up a pattern for yourself, like a routine for yourself that you follow, unless you are recording podcasts.
Yeah, exactly. So he basically will nap from anywhere from 7:30 between like, I put him down between 7 and 7:30 or 8 o'clock. Sorry. Yeah. And then lunchtime, like his lunchtime nap is anywhere between 11 and 12. And then he'll nap for an hour and a half. 3 o'clock. And then 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock.
And then
he naps
bedtime.
again. And then he naps.
But it was him it was kind of him that he established the routine. Yeah. And you paid attention.
Exactly. You can just tell like based off of his cues, like sometimes even like he'll wake up at 2, like he was once woken up at like 3:30 and didn't nap until bedtime. And I'm like, wow, that's a long stretch. Like he's going to sleep well
But
tonight.
he was able to, and you could feel that.
He was able to handle it. I'm not going to force another nap down on him, just because it needs to follow 3 naps a day. It's just like flying by the seat of my pants,
Okay. The raw dogging experience with Natascha.
So there's no schedule, but there is a little bit. There's 3 naps and bedtime. Yeah. And it's like just dependent on what time he wakes up at. It formed.
It wasn't because you followed some sleep guru.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. The next one I want to talk about is saying no. So I recently heard you and Joey speaking about that you don't want people saying no to him.
Yeah. So
Explain that.
I've actually got this from a couple of moms that I've followed. And I really like the concept of like, it's all the time when you see like little kids, it's like, no, don't do that. No, we're not going to do that. No, we're not going to do this. And it's like, they almost don't even take no as like a seriousness because it's said so often, right?
Yeah. It's overused. Like, it's also very negative. No.
Yeah. And it's just very overused. And a lot of the time it's just not followed through. So when you don't follow through, I believe like, and this goes for like my experience as an adult as well. If somebody says no to me, doesn't give me a reason, I'm like, well, then why? But like, I need to know why you're saying no. I also need to know why you're saying yes. Like I need to understand that. Like it's the same thing for kids. And it's just not, if it's said over and over and over again, it's just not taken seriously. And like, I feel like the kids kind of just fluff it off.
They can figure that out. Really. Yeah. Mom says no, dad says no, but I still get what I want.
Yeah, exactly. There's no follow through. That's also one of the big things is like, no, you can't have that. And like 5 minutes later, it's like, okay, I have that, like, cause they keep nagging you. And eventually you're just like, yeah, whatever, take the lollipop, it's just how many times can a baby like scream at you that they want something? I understand that it's frustrating. Right. Yeah. So the follow through also. So like kids are manipulative, like, they're smart. They're like, mommy's going to say no, but daddy's going to say yes. Like, it's just a known thing that kids can get what they want. They're going to go and go to the next person until they get a yes.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
So why do you decide not to use the word no? Like so what's your alternative?
Like the alternative will be, if like, mommy, can I watch TV while we have dinner? It's like, no, as a family, we don't watch TV while we have dinner. Or, I want ice cream. We have ice cream on Fridays. Or I want to watch a movie we can only watch on the weekends. Instead of saying no all the time, it's giving them like
a context
of this is as a family, we don't do this or we do this. And these are it's an explanation without saying the no. So like, no, it's not saying no, because we It's just saying as a family, we don't watch TV and have dinner at the same time.
Yeah. So they understand the reasons
so
why.
Oh, okay. So as a family, we don't do this. So it's so when you do say no, like this content creator, she explained it how somebody was like, how do you get your child to listen to you when you say no? And she's like, I just never say no. So that when we do say no, the kid was like sitting down at the table and understanding that mommy said no, like it's serious, you know? So it just creates those moments where it's really important that no is no. Like then you actually listen to it.
Yeah. No, that's interesting.
Not just like, mommy said, no, it's fine. And daddy's going to say yes.
Okay. Next one is sugar. You say you're holding off sugar until the age of 2. Talk about that.
Yeah. I mean, just like sugar is one of the most addicting things ever. And like, I just don't think it's necessary for a kid to have sugar at the age of 2. Like
until the age of 2. Yeah.
Until the age of 2. I just see kids like, even me, like when you have sugar, you have spikes and then you're exhausted, and kids, like they become monsters when they have so much sugar, and it's not their fault. It's like how your body reacts to sugar. And I just don't think that it's necessary at that age. Obviously when the baby gets older, it's just like, you can't control it. And whatever happens at grandparents and birthday parties, it is what it is. Like I want them to experience also childhood, but before the age of 2, they don't really know. Yeah.
And also we know so much more about sugar today. It's just like a cause of so much chronic illnesses and inflammation in the body.
Until they understand what it is, and until they go to the birthday party and they see like this big fluorescent blue cake, they're not going to really get it.
Yeah. And they might even be like I was as a child. You see a big blue fluorescent cake and you run for your life because it's kind of scary. You don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't actually taste very good either usually.
No, it's like chemicals. I'm going to be pretty strict when it comes to the baby's nutrition, which
I think. Yeah.
It's just,
I know. It's like, your body's a temple. You have to feed it, nourish it, set yourself up with the best way to live. Yeah. Because what you plant is what you like, it's what grows, right?
Yeah.
So when you grow up as a child, from a baby to a child, and you feed your body with good nutrition, that kind of sets the stage for how you will live your life in the future, I think, unless you get totally pulled off track. Okay. Screens.
Yeah, no, there's no screen time. Even my pediatrician said no screen time before the age of 2. Like they don't recommend it. So obviously it's not going to happen. It's just not even going to be an option.
No TV, no laptop.
TV, I really like the concept. I also seeing this from like influence from a lot of the moms that I'm following is that, they're like parenting again, like it's the 1990s, where it's like, I remember growing up and only being able to watch Miley Cyrus once a week. And I remember watching like certain things once a week because I had to wait because there was no other option. There wasn't Netflix, there wasn't YouTube, there wasn't all this stuff. So I really like that concept. Like I'm going to say like, if you want to watch Bluey or whatever the shows are, I don't know, like they're available on Tuesdays and Saturdays. Like you can of course watch TV and like watch, but I'm going to also choose things that are not like, I've heard like Coco Melon is the most insane thing ever. I'm going to find low stimulus TV shows for the babies to watch.
Yeah.
And it'll be on specific days. And I'm going to kind of bring back the way that I was raised into my parenting. Granted, like that's stuff that I control inside the home. What happens at friend's house, what happens at, like, I can't control all that. But like once you're in the house, like these are the rules. Mm-hmm. And like, there is no, mommy, can I watch this now? No, there is none of that. And there's going to be no screen times. And I know that for sure there's going to be times maybe like when I'm on an airplane and the baby's freaking out, like I'll be like, watch TV, you know?
But there's also things like, there's also coloring. There's like tons of different things. When
you're on an airplane for like, imagine I'm flying to Vienna for 9 hours. Like at one point, like just watch the show, watch the movie, you know? Like I think that I'm not like going to be this like crazy person. There's going to be wiggle room.
It's going to be like a treat more than just
exactly. I'm going to allow for things to happen in their childhood, but like within the home, I'm going to try to set as many rules as possible that are just going to benefit them. But of course there's wiggle room for things to happen. You have friends over, you know, and you want to watch a movie night. I'm not gonna be like, well, it's not Saturday, so you can't watch TV. Like I'm not crazy.
But it's going to be a treat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, not an expectation. Okay, we talked a lot about this already, but basically your pace and just letting things come in naturally for you.
Yeah, I just, like I said before, just taking one day at a time. I think motherhood really kind of taught me how to slow down a little bit, which is really nice. I feel like I was like speeding through life and everything. And I'm just like letting things
settle
and land. And just like, And just, and I do things with when I'm ready to do it. And I can say that even for like, I've never let it's a strong thing, but I've never had anyone babysit Maximilian except for a couple weekends ago because we had a wedding. And it was like, people are like, oh, when can I babysit? When can I babysit? It's like, I wasn't ready at the time to let to have anyone babysit Maxie.
But it's okay, right?
But when you babysat him, because we had a wedding to go to, I felt super secure in it. And I left the house. I wasn't stressed. I didn't have anxiety. I was like, I'm leaving the house. Okay, I feel fine. The whole night I was amazing.
Yeah.
I wasn't stressed about things. And I think it's just because I allowed myself to do it when I was ready to do it.
Yeah.
You
so
know?
follow your own.
Yeah. Follow your timeline. And when you're ready to do things, don't do it based off of other people, because that's just never going to get you anywhere.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Okay. So let's do what you tell a new mom. It's usually we do rapid fires at the end, but we're going to say what are quick and honest to close things that you tell a new mom. Okay. The permission slip that you wish someone handed to you on day one.
Just do as you please. Do what's right for your family.
One thing you say to a mom who is drowning in advice right now.
Delete Instagram and TikTok.
Okay. What has doing it your own way actually given you and Maximilian?
A calm, steady environment.
Love it. That was great, Tash.
Thank you.
I love hearing your perspective on how you're doing things. I think it's really refreshing.
Yeah.
And I think, there's probably a lot of moms out there that are struggling, new moms with all the different reasons that we talked about. So hearing your take on it, I think could help people. And that's always what we like to do,
Yeah. If I can help any stressed mom in any way, I would be happy to.
A fresh perspective and giving yourself permission to do things your way, I think is really great. Yeah. Thank you for joining us. See you next week.
Thank you for listening to Skin Talks.
If this episode inspired you, taught you something new, or just made you feel seen, please share with someone you love. And if you believe in thoughtful and empowering conversations that help you make better choices for yourself around your beauty and wellness, please rate and review the show. It helps us to grow our community, and we deeply appreciate it. Because this isn't just about skin.
It's about claiming your beauty, feeling strong, informed, and at home in yourself.
See you next week.